Hey guys, welcome to Pro Trader Talks. In this video, we are going to be talking about money management rules. These are again one of my favorites because अगर आपको लगता है कि in spite of doing the best analysis, in spite of having the right emotions, आप पैसे नहीं बना पा रहे हो, then the problem may be with managing your money, which is managing your risk. So let's look at all the risk management and the money management rules and then see how best we can follow them. Money management rule number 1, cut your losses short but let your profits run. This is one of the most widely followed rule of all. Though it sounds cliche and you would have heard it multiple times, it still holds true. This is one of the most important money management technique because ये ऐसा rule है जो आपके capital को protect करता है just because you can come back to the market and trade the next day. And this is a story of almost every trader and investor, that when it comes to profits, they are risk averse, but when it comes to losses, they are risk seeking. छोटा सा गेन लेने को तैयार है लेकिन बड़े से गेन के लिए छोटा सा लॉस लेने को तैयार नहीं है. And this happens with most of us most of the times. Remember that if market went down when you expected the market to go up, it only proves one thing, that your analysis was flawed. Something was wrong with your analysis because the rule is market is always right? तो इसीलिए जब भी आपको realize हो कि आपका analysis गलत है, the best thing to do is to get out, liquidate your position, get out, wait in the sidelines for the next trade. So following this rule really helps a lot. Let your profits run, लेकिन जब भी losses आए तो उसको immediately cut कर दीजिए. Money management rule number 2, always look down and not up. Risk एक बहुत relative term है, especially risk when it comes to the stock markets. Whatever may be, entertainment money for you, may be life-threatening risk for me. इसीलिए risk की परिभाषा हर एक trader के लिए अलग-अलग होती है. A very interesting thing that I really learned from the days that I was learning to trade and invest is मैंने एक बहुत बढ़िया book पढ़ी थी which is called Market Wizards by Jack Schwager. जिस बुक में उन्होंने बहुत सारे सक्सेसफुल ट्रेडर्स और इन्वेस्टर्स के इंटरव्यूज़ लिए हैं और ये बुक में उन सारे ट्रेडर्स ने अपनी सक्सेस प्रिंसिपल शेयर किए, अपनी लर्निंग शेयर किए, अपने मिस्टेक्स शेयर किए हैं. वन वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट एग्जाम्पल जो मैंने तभी पढ़ा था, अभी भी मुझे बहुत अच्छी तरह याद है. आई फॉरगॉट द नेम ऑफ द ट्रेडर, बट द थिंग इज वो बुक में वो ट्रेडर ने बहुत ही बढ़िया प्रैक्टिस शेयर की है. एंड द प्रैक्टिस इज, ही सेड, बिफोर टेकिंग अ ट्रेड आई ऑलवेज आस्क माई सेल्फ व्हाट इज द वर्स्ट दैट कैन हैपन. What is the worst that can go wrong with the trade? And this practice has stuck with me from years. If you ask this question to yourself before every trade, it makes a huge difference to your risk management capability. Because ये question पूछने से आपको याद आता है कि आपका main objective trading का क्या है, और वो है to protect your capital and to make money. एक बार अपना capital protect करेंगे, you will have the opportunity to come back to the market the second day to make money. पैसा तो बनना ही है if you follow the system, but the thing is to protect your capital. That is why working on your risk is extremely important. I still remember that lesson till date, and this helps if you ask this question to yourself also every single time you trade. What is the worst that can happen? Trading एक probability game है. कभी कभी loss होता है, कभी कभी profit होता है. इसीलिए it always makes sense to reduce the amount of our losses as much as possible. Mistakes तो trading में होनी ही है. It always helps to reduce the number and the quantum of mistakes as much as possible. So that is another rule, important rule of risk management, which is never trade more than you can afford to lose. इस पे एक बढ़िया सी स्टोरी शेयर करना चाहूँगी. When I was initial days, when I joined the stock market, I used to go to Kotak Securities retail office to learn trading. जब भी हमारा खुद का ऑफिस नहीं हुआ करता था, I used to go to Kotak office and me and Vishal used to sit and trade from there. That was when I started learning how to trade. हमारे बाजू में there was one retail trader जो रोज़ वहाँ पे आता था और ट्रेड करता था. And very important quality of that person was, एक important ट्रेड था उसका कि जो भी पैसा वो लगाते थे मार्केट में, उनका कैपिटल was way higher than he could afford to lose, way higher than was in his capability. But the thing is, he always used to make good money on that. इसीलिए maybe he never paid attention on the risk and the money that's involved in the market. और एक बार ऐसा हुआ when the market crashed in 2008. He had huge leverage positions on the long side. और उनका इतना पैसा लगा था जितना he could not afford to lose that kind of money. And when the markets crashed, he lost a huge chunk of his capital, way more than his capacity to lose. And the pain that ensued the whole loss was really bad to see him in a traumatic state. तो ऐसे ही होता है, when you risk more than you can afford to lose, till the times it's going good, you are good, you have आपके capital, आपकी balance sheet को कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ेगा. I mean, you'll be good and you'll be happy because you're making profits. But when the tides turn against you, when the market turns against your positions, it becomes extremely difficult to hold on. और money damage से ज़्यादा psychological damage होता है. It took many years for that little trader to come back and trade into the markets. और कभी-कभी ये psychological damage इतना high होता है कि so many traders are not able to come back. There are way many stories of traders and investors जिन्होंने trading और investing छोड़ दिया है lifetime के लिए because of this trauma, psychological trauma that they experienced of this huge loss. और a huge loss होता है इसलिए जब भी आप जितना आपका कैपेसिटी है उससे ज़्यादा बेट कर देते हो, उससे ज़्यादा दाव पे लगा देते हो मार्केट पे, अपनी पोजिशंस पे, right? So this is extremely important. Always look at what can go wrong rather than looking at how much money that I'll make on this trade. Money management rule number 3. अगर आप कोई स्टॉप लॉस लगाते हैं तो उसे एक लॉजिकल प्लेस पे लगाइए, ना कि कोई कन्वीनियंट प्लेस पे. आई सी दिस हैपनिंग विद सो मेनी पीपल अराउंड मी. काफ़ी सारे स्टूडेंट्स, प्रोग्राम पार्टिसिपेंट्स, इवन अदर ट्रेडर्स एंड इन्वेस्टर्स दैट आई रीड अबाउट ऑनलाइन कि स्टॉप लॉस तो यूज़ करते हैं लेकिन जहाँ पे उन्हें अच्छा लगता है वहाँ यूज़ करते हैं, नॉट दैट इट्स अ प्रॉपर टेक्निकल स्टॉप लॉस. Sometimes we get so inquisitive to get into a position. We want to get into that position anyhow because वो stock इतना lucrative लगता है. That opportunity looks so lucrative. But the problem is अपने risk reward में नहीं fit होता है. Very common risk reward ratio that normally we have is 1:3. That's the minimum. It could go as high as 1:5 and 1:7 as well. लेकिन minimum भी अगर देख ले कि 1:3 का risk reward ratio है और अगर कोई अच्छा opportunity आपको चार्ट पे दिख गया, आपको उसमें enter होना है लेकिन आपका stop loss fit नहीं होता है. What are you going to do? Are you going to let that opportunity go or are you somehow going to fix and manipulate your stop loss in a way that it meets your risk reward requirement? And so many times we do the latter. कैसे भी करके मैनिपुलेट करके स्टॉप लॉस वाला ऊपर लगा देते ताकि अपने रिस्क में फिट हो जाए. और होता क्या है, एज यूनिवर्स हैज़ इट, वो स्टॉप लॉस हिट हो जाता है, आप पोजीशन से बाहर आ जाते हो और फिर वो स्टॉक ऊपर चला जाता है. Tell me honestly guys, how many of us has experienced this? If you ask me on a show of hands, मेरा हाथ सबसे पहले ऊपर होगा because this is something जो मैंने बहुत बार experience किया है where just out of inquisitiveness to get into the trade, I have manipulated my stop loss at a logical place और वो hit हो गया, I missed the opportunity. मतलब final result ये हुआ कि opportunity भी miss हो गया और मेरा stop loss भी लग गया. And the thing is, you know, it leaves a psychological thing on me, on a trader or any one of us who does this mistake कि my trade did not work. So अगर आपको आपका stop loss logical place पे नहीं बैठ रहा है, do not get curious to enter into the trade by placing it at a convenient place because the damage could be way more than you can imagine or you can really think about when you enter the trade. Money management rule number 4. Place a lot of bets on low risk ideas. ये एक ऐसा रूल है जो मैंने जेसी लिवरमोर की बुक में पढ़ा है और ये बहुत ही बढ़िया वाला रूल है. Which means if you see a low risk idea when your indicators are coming around technically, अगर आपने low risk idea देखा, I mean low risk trade spot किया, try to put a bet there, try to trade there because you know the best trades come with low risk and high reward. तो जब भी आपको ऐसा trade spot हो, make sure you take that trade. Money management rule number 5, and this is again one of the most cliched rule you would have heard, is do not fight the trend. If you want to be successful at investing into the long term or trading even for a short term, always trade in the direction of the trend. Yes, you would be having multiple numerous examples जहाँ आपने trend के against profit किया है और आपने सुने भी है ऐसे examples where people have done that. I'm not saying you can't do that, but overall, you know, for a longer term, to have this attitude could be only damaging. Stay with the trend, take your trades in the direction of the trend और फिर आप देखोगे कैसे consistently आपके profits बन रहे हैं trading में. Money management rule number 6. Always trade liquid stocks. Illiquid stock में problem ये होता है कि अगर आप right side पे हो, which is very good, but if you are on the wrong side, the results could be really devastating. So, or one more thing on the liquid stocks is that अगर आप कोई ओपिनियन लेके बैठे हो, सपोज इफ यू आर लॉन्ग इन अ लिक्विड स्टॉक, तो आपने एक ओपिनियन लिया है, यू आर ऑन वन साइड ऑफ द स्टॉक, देयर विल ऑलवेज बी समवन हु इज हैविंग अदर ऑपोजिट ओपिनियन ऑन देयर ओन, जो ऑपोजिट पोजीशन लेके बैठा है, राइट? then that two people with opposing positions always helps into the market. And that is why it helps to trade in liquid stocks. Illiquid stock में trade करना is difficult on one more count, which is बहुत ज़्यादा brokerage और commission रहता है और spread बहुत ही wide रहता है, जिसकी वजह से it could turn out to be really expensive. So stay with this, stay with liquid stocks so that you have no problem in getting stuck on the wrong side. Money management rule number 7, never meet a margin call. Margin call आना मतलब ये कि आपने अपना losing positions काफ़ी time के लिए पकड़ के रखा है, and this rule applies especially to leverage traders. Leveraging can cause huge losses of money, especially when market goes against your favor. और दो तरह से you can experience losses. First is, एक तो आपका equity आपके against जा रहा है, you're losing money on your equity. Second, in these times the money requirement is really high. इसीलिए whenever you get a margin call, I always advise traders and investors, liquidate your position, never meet the margin call. So guys, how about revising all the money management rules that we have learned till now? Rule number 1, cut your losses but let your profits run. Rule number 2, look down and not up. Rule number 3, always put your stop at a logical place and not a convenient place. Rule number 4, place numerous small bets on the low risk ideas. Rule number 5, do not fight the trend. Rule number 6, always trade liquid stocks. And rule number 7, never meet a margin call. Guys, each of these money management rules is extremely important. And again, as I say, success is a result of consistent practice. Try to practice them consistently. If you're finding a particular rule challenging to follow, put a track sheet in front of you, in front of your laptop or computer wherever you're trading, and keep tracking on how many times you have been breaking that rule in a week. Ek bar it comes into your awareness that this is something that you've been breaking often. Gradually you'll get in the process where you're trying to follow it and trying to stick with it more number of times than before. It's a process. Growing and becoming successful at any skill is a process, and we all are work in progress. Every one of us is learning, even I'm learning, right? So make the best use of these rules and see to it that you trade with these rules by your side for an added advantage. I wish you all the best.
Thanks for watching, guys. Usually we get stuck in life because of one of these three things. First is the limiting beliefs that we carry. Second is the negative patterns, and third is the scarcity mindset. Do you feel like breaking free of all these three things? Do you feel that you want to live a life which is due to your highest potential? If yes, check out this 3-day program that we're doing called the Ultimate Breakthrough. It promises to be a life immersive experience, and we're super excited about it. To know more details, go to www.tublife.in.